Hey guys, we should be live. Let me just make sure the camera is set up the way I like. All right, I'm a few minutes early today. Perfect. So again, let me know if the quality is at least 720p HD and we have some good audio coming through. I'm using my iPhone for this, so I'm not sure how it's gonna look, but it should look okay. All right. Thank you guys for coming in early. I really appreciate it. I also really appreciate the people who were waiting in the live chat before I even went live. So again, just like we do every week, I am here for an Ask Me Anything session. I'll be on for an hour and you can ask me questions about Apple, about YouTube, about my personal life. Where am I? What am I doing here in Tokyo, which is what you see behind me. And right now, it may look like I just woke up because I did just wake up. I am in Tokyo, which means it's noon on Sunday. So in the US, it's still Saturday, but in Tokyo, still Sunday. If you want to ask me a question, you can. I'm going to start answering them. But again, if you want your question answered for sure, because there's already over 100 people here, super chat. It'll highlight your question and I'll answer it. Or join our Discord server, because after every stream, I'm on the server. Everybody posts one question. I answer all of them in a Q&A video. Then I post that video on Discord. So if you want to see that and be a part of it, make sure you join it. You have to be at least 13 years old, by the way. Okay, so let's start answering your questions. And I already have a couple super chats, so let me get to those first. I really appreciate that, you guys. Our first super chat is from The Best. Thank you, The Best, for being with us this week. Thank you for your $5 super chat. They said, what are your thoughts on the 16-inch MacBook Pro in the base model? Yeah, so I kind of touched on this last week. It's impressive the internals Apple put on the base model, with considering the price is the same as the previous 15-inch base model. Everybody expected the price of this 16-inch MacBook Pro to be more expensive than the 15-inch. Everybody thought Apple was going to keep the 15-inch model and then just add a more expensive 16-inch model. But they actually replaced the 15-inch and kept the price the same, which is incredible. And we get double the internal storage, which is amazing considering how stingy Apple is with that. But the technology inside is great. The thing is, I was expecting more of a major upgrade. I wanted Face ID. I kind of wanted a new design. I wanted a bezel-less display that had rounded corners similar to the iPhone. We didn't get that. So I don't think it would be worth it for me to sort of build my ultimate dream computer with this model and spend, $3,000 on it, when maybe next year we'll be getting a major upgrade. So I'm just going to hold off. And we have more super chats. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. The next one is from Austin. Thank you, Austin, for your $2 super chat. They said, opinions on the Tesla Cybertruck. Yes. If you guys don't know, Tesla just came out with a truck, which was rumored. Everybody was talking about it for maybe the past year, that Tesla's coming out with this truck. And then as the release date has gotten closer, Elon Musk, who's the CEO of Tesla, has been more clear about what to expect. And he said it looks like something that came off of a movie set. He said it looks like it was inspired by, Blade Runner, that kind of thing. So I kind of understood it would look really, really unique. And even though we know that, we still don't really know what to expect exactly. Like, how crazy were they going to go with the design? and they went really crazy. And right when I saw it, I loved it. I mean, I thought it was the coolest truck I have ever seen. Um, I mean, it's like, I think it's like 50 years ahead of its time, and that's why it's so controversial. But what's really funny is if you were following the Tesla subreddit during that live stream when it was revealed, everybody hated it. They were like, is this a joke? Are they going to reveal the real truck later on? Is this a prototype? Who designed that? Are they crazy? It's so ugly. No one's going to ever want to ride in that. I mean, they were just tearing it apart. And I was kind of surprised because I mean, if you had been paying attention to rumors, I think most people expected something a bit weird, a bit different, which is what Elon said it would be. But if you went on that subreddit the next day, literally 24 hours later, people had completely changed their minds. They were like, you know what? The design is growing on me. You know what? The more I learn, the more I like it. And I kind of partly blame Tesla for this because the introduction was awful. Tesla usually does not have very good product introductions. And I don't know if it's because Elon doesn't rehearse. I don't know if it's because they don't get into the details. Like, there were so many details about the Cybertruck that we should have been told during the introduction because Tesla knew about them, but they didn't. They left it out. So there were so many questions about it. And I don't think they did a very good job justifying why they used that design. So people were critical of it until they learned the purpose of the design, and then they were more open to the idea. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I really like it. Michael Scarabasi, thank you for that $10 super chat. They said, what do you think is the future of the Apple TV? I think the Apple TV is just going to keep being reiterated upon. I think just like with iOS and macOS, Apple is going to keep iterating on tvOS, which is good. I think they're going to focus on the box. I don't think Apple will ever make a TV set, but yeah, I think they're just going to try to make tvOS more capable and integrate it more deeply with our content, with the services we use. And I'm hoping developers make more apps for it, because the App Store on on the Apple TV it kind of leaves a little bit to be desired. And I'm hoping as it becomes more powerful, as they include more powerful processors and things like that, developers can do more exciting things with it. The Best, thank you again for that $5 super chat. They said, have you heard Phil is saying that classrooms should use iPads instead of Chromebooks because kids can't learn on them? Yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah, he said something weird, like, yeah, he said something like kids who use Chromebooks aren't learning, or something weird like that. And I don't know the context of how he said that, if he was joking. I don't know if he was replying to someone else said. I don't know, but it was a very strange quote. And it's definitely not true. I mean, Chromebooks are used in a ton of classrooms across the country nowadays. And yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Someone asked me, who is your favorite tech YouTuber? And I want to shout you out, but I cannot find that question. My favorite tech YouTuber is probably iJustine. I've been watching her for a really, really long time. Flame Lion said, have you heard about the new YouTube changes coming up in 2020? What are you going to do about them? Yeah, so if you guys don't know about that COPPA law, there's all this drama again happening on YouTube with kids content. YouTube was violating COPPA law by collecting data on children through YouTube, which is illegal. So the FTC is conducting a sweep of YouTube in January, I think, the beginning of next year. And they're saying if you're violating this law, we can fine you up to $42,000 per violation, which is per video. So what YouTube is doing is protecting themselves. They're updating their terms of service, and they're saying if you find FTC, if the FTC finds any violations, it's not our fault. It's the creator's fault because we didn't post that video on here. You posted the video on here, so you're paying the fine. So they're protecting themselves legally from any repercussions of this law, which is not surprising. But it sucks for channels who are going to be hit by this. For me personally, I don't have a kids channel. Like my demographics are 90% 18 and above, like 90%. But there are channels where it's 90% under 18. And if it's under 13, that's where you get into dangerous territory with your content and with the FTC. It just brings up a lot of issues. It brings up the issue of YouTube having way too much control over everything. Like the situation we have now is YouTubers are like independent contractors, and then YouTube is our like employer, but they're not really our employer because we're independent contractors, which means they can treat us however they want. They can cut us off whenever they want. They can delete our videos whenever they want. They're in complete control. And it's why I wish there was some sort of like YouTube guild or a YouTube union where we had YouTubers had some sort of organization to represent us and to vouch for us and to stand up for us. Because YouTube holds all the cards and we're sort of put in this position of, well, our fate is up to them. And it's scary. It's definitely scary. Review, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, I'm currently sitting at a driving class. Sorry, can't really attend, having my road test on Monday. No problem, Review. I hope your test goes well on Monday. Adam Hussein said, thoughts on KSI versus Logan Paul. I actually saw some highlights from that fight because someone mentioned it a couple live streams ago and it got me curious, so I looked it up. Because apparently KSI won, but Logan Paul was mad because he got 2 points deducted for hitting KSI when he was already down. And then some people felt like the ref was being too aggressive with that penalty and it should have only been like half a point or maybe 1 point. And if it had been only half a point or 1 point, Logan Paul would have won. So I'm not really like, I don't get too deep into that drama world. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think the whole situation is really stupid. I don't know why YouTubers are fighting each other. I think that's so weird. Marty Smith said, how's your Pokemon playthrough going? Yeah, so I bought Pokemon Shield, and I've played it quite a bit in the last week, and I love it. I really think it's the best Pokemon game ever made. I really believe that. They made some really good improvements to the game. I don't want to spoil it, but considering how much backlash and criticism the game has gotten for cutting Pokemon, I think people were way too hard on them. I mean, could the game be better in some ways? Sure. I mean, any game can be better in some ways, but you have to appreciate it for what it is. And to be honest, it's a great game. I mean, if you don't enjoy it, I think I would be surprised. I think it's a lot of fun. So Those are my thoughts. David Krasny. Thank you for that $3 super chat. They said, did you get your Model 3 yet? Yeah, so I bought my Model 3 before I came to Japan. That was like at the end of November. October, no, I'm sorry, not November. September. Sort of at the end of September, I got my Model 3. And I got the, not the performance model, but like the one right below that. So I got the long range model, all-wheel drive with the full self-driving package and the white interior and the white exterior and the upgraded 19-inch rims. And I love it. I love that car. It's amazing. Sheldon Williams, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, will you do anything special for Thanksgiving? You know, to be honest, I only eat, Thanksgiving is what, like the 28th or something, 29th. No, I have no plans for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna be in Japan. So I probably won't do anything for that. Japan doesn't really celebrate Thanksgiving, although they do celebrate Christmas. And there's been a lot of decorations going up around here, which is really cool. And actually for Christmas, people in Japan order KFC. They actually order like a whole KFC chicken. Like KFC sells whole chickens. And people buy them for Christmas. And some people here think we do that in the US. And I had to say, no, we don't buy KFC for Christmas in the US. We usually get like a turkey or a ham. Okay, I had another super chat. The Best, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, don't upload on November 26th because that's when people are protesting YouTube and not uploading. I did not know that. Well, I probably won't be uploading that day anyway. I wasn't planning on putting a video up then. I did not know that people were protesting though. That's interesting. Max Tech Studios said, do you have a cat? I do not have any pets. Thomas Klassen said, what city are you in? I'm in Tokyo right now. That's what you're seeing behind me. Yeah, I agree with Jish. Someone was asking, should they get the XS or XS Max? I would recommend the Max because of the battery life, and I just love having a larger screen. It makes a big difference. Troy Ruckert said, AirPods or AirPods Pro? Yeah, I'm loving my AirPods Pro. Although, I will say, I don't know if it's because my ears are weird. I don't know if it's because, I don't know why, but whenever I'm like laughing, like I'm watching a funny video, and I'm like smiling and laughing, it sort of pushes my AirPods Pro out of my ear a little bit. And then as I keep smiling and laughing, eventually they are like completely out of my ear. And then I have to push them back in, which is pretty annoying. So it's usually not that big of a problem because at home, what I've been doing is when I'm just sitting at my desk, I use my normal AirPods because I don't really need noise cancellation when I'm sitting in a quiet room at home. But when I'm out and walking around or doing something outside, I use my AirPods Pro to block out the noise. I'm typically not laughing or watching videos when I'm outside. So that's how I've been using them. So I thought when I got my AirPods Pro, I wouldn't even use my normal AirPods anymore. But I have found a use for my normal AirPods. What I haven't been using are my Bose headphones because the AirPods Pro have completely replaced my Bose headphones. They're way more convenient, they're a lot more comfortable. So if you're choosing between them, I would just say consider how you're going to be using your AirPods. If you're using them when you're taking walks or on the train or subway or in loud environments, then AirPods Pro is perfect because you want that noise cancellation. If you'll mainly be using them at your desk or in a quiet area, I would actually recommend just the normal AirPods. Dima Krab, thank you for that $3 super chat. They said your thoughts on Cybertruck. Yeah, so if you just joined earlier in the stream, I mentioned my thoughts on Cybertruck. I think it's amazing. I love it. I think it's super cool. I think it's from the future. It got a lot of hate when it was first released, and I don't really know why. I mean, I know why. It's because the design is so unique. I mean, there's never been a car that's looked like that before. But it makes sense. The design makes sense. Tesla didn't make it look like that just because they want it to look weird. I mean, it has a functional purpose. The triangle is the best load-bearing shape, so it makes it stronger. Using stainless steel on the outside obviously makes it stronger. If you saw the demonstration, they were able to hit it with a hammer, and it didn't dent. Hopefully the glass is a little bit stronger, because if you saw the demo, they threw like a stainless steel ball at the window, and it wasn't supposed to shatter, but it did shatter. And then afterward they said, we hit the windows with the ball like 5 times and it didn't break. So they think that they were like micro, what do they say? Micro, what's it called? Micro cracks in the window already, so that when they hit it that 6th time on stage, that was the last straw, so it shattered. Anyway, I really like it. Not only is that design, does it look good, I think, not only does it have a functional purpose, but it's cheap to make because they don't have to paint the truck. It's just a blank slate of stainless steel, and it's sort of like a unibody design. They actually fold the steel like origami into that shape of the truck, which is why they were able to get the price down so much cheaper than people were expecting. So I think it was a genius. Oh, yeah, this is a good question. Andreas 5664 said, what do you think about Apple removing user ratings on the Apple Store website? If you guys didn't know, Apple recently removed user reviews on their website, and it's an interesting move. On one hand, I understand, because if you looked at those reviews, the majority of them were like, 1 star, I hate Apple for charging me $20 for this adapter. 1 star, why don't you guys put USB ports on your computers anymore? You're just forcing me to spend more money on accessories. 1 star, like, it was just people complaining. It wasn't people actually talking about the product itself. It was just people complaining. So on one hand, I understand because the system wasn't even helpful. On the other hand, sometimes people would post good reviews. Sometimes there were legitimate criticisms of something that I would like to know about before I buy a product. So it's an interesting move. I didn't think Apple would ever do that, but it makes sense. It makes sense. Marty Smith said, are you going to buy anything on Black Friday? No, I usually don't. And I don't think Japan has Black Friday. I don't think they do Black Friday here anyway. The Gaming Cuber said, "Do you think Apple will make a car?" I would be surprised if they actually manufactured a car. I think what they might be doing is making self-driving software, self-driving technology that they can license to other car manufacturers or something like that. Maybe they're making a platform for cars, sort of like an operating system for a car that manufacturers can purchase, but I don't know if Apple would ever go into that industry. I mean, it's a risky industry. I mean, basically only two companies in America, two car companies have survived, and that's Ford and Tesla. Everyone else went bankrupt or had to be rescued by the government. So it's a really hard thing to do, making a car, making money from it. And it takes a long time to make money from it. So it doesn't seem like something Apple would want to get involved in. And Tesla is already so far ahead, it would be difficult to catch up. The Best, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, you should do a video with everything Apple Pro. I mean, I'm open to that. His channel, I mean, it's much bigger than mine. I don't think he would collab with a channel of my size, but I would definitely be open to that. Titan Tube, thank you. Oh no, I'm so used to saying Titan Tube, thank you for that super chat, but it's not a super chat. Titan Tube said, how long are you going to be in Japan? Until January, and then I'll be heading back to the US. Riley the Cool Guy said, what do you think about the Mac Pro? I mean, it's cool that it's being manufactured in the US. I think originally Apple said they're going to make it in China. They're moving back to China. And then at some point, I don't know when exactly, I guess they moved it back to the US because I've been reading articles about it now. So that's cool. I think the Mac Pro is fantastic. I think it's going to give Pro users exactly what they want. And yeah, I think it's a great product. Firas Abueda, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, do you think the Apple Watch Series 5 is the worst upgrade ever? I think it is. I mean, yeah, the worst Apple Watch upgrade ever, yes, because there's only technically two improvements, the compass and the always-on display. So there's not much there, although for some people the always-on display might be a huge feature to them and it's worth upgrading just for that feature, but that's I'm definitely not in that position. Casey Seibold, thank you for that $2.79 Canadian super chat. They said, hey Greg, I'm alive. Yeah, Casey wasn't with us last week, and usually Casey is here every single live stream. He said, what did I miss last week? You didn't miss much. You didn't miss much. Why am I in Japan? Because I want to be. I really like Tokyo. It's my favorite place in the world. I just like being here. I just like eating the food. I just like, walking around, doing things. There's always something to do. There's always cool events going on. It's just a lot of fun, and I really like being here. So whenever I get the chance, I come for a few months and just relax. The Best, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, did you watch Unbox Therapy's video where he had an iPhone 11 Pro with a piece of Steve Jobs' shirt in it? Yes, I did see that video. It popped up in my recommendations and I clicked on it very quickly. Yeah, not only did I watch that video, so what he's saying, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, there's a company called, oh, I forget the name now. I forget the name. if you know the name, put it in the live chat. It's a Russian company that takes iPhones and they customize them in some way, and they charge like thousands of dollars for it, and it's like a luxury thing. Completely unnecessary, but it's just like a luxury thing. There was a model they came out with recently. It's like a special edition Steve Jobs iPhone 11 Pro Max or iPhone 11 Pro. And in the Apple logo on the back of the phone, they put a little piece of cloth. And the cloth is from Steve Jobs' turtleneck he wore in like a 1991 event. And they're selling it for like $7,000. And yes, I did go to the website to see how much it costs, just because I was curious. I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. I would never buy it, but it's very interesting. I think they only made like 9 of them or something. I think that's what Lou said on Unbox Therapy. Titan Tube, thank you for that $2 super sticker. If you guys don't know, YouTube just introduced these super stickers. It's pretty cool. I'm really hoping I get permission for membership soon. Right now my channel is ineligible for memberships, and it's not that I don't meet the criteria, because I meet all the criteria, but the feature just hasn't been rolled out to my channel yet, because I've already contacted someone at YouTube about it, and they said I just have to wait and be patient. So I'm hoping I can get membership soon and then offer you guys some special like emojis and things to use in the live chat. That would be pretty cool. Sean Saunders said Apple Watch Series 5 or 3 for an average user. Is the 5 worth 2 times as much? I recommend a Series 4. I mean, just go buy a used Series 4. I understand that a lot of people like to buy new just because it's like an electronic and you don't know what it's been through or whatever. But these days, I really recommend buying used, especially in this situation where the Series 5 is virtually the same as the Series 4 and you're trying to save some money. And going with the Series 3 is like a pretty big downgrade. I mean, there's a lot of features in the Series 4 that you don't get in the 3, and it makes a big difference in my opinion. So I would highly and you can buy from like a reputable site. I mean, even eBay is reputable. There's a return policy. Swappa.com has a return policy. And I've bought used stuff all the time. Used iPhones, used Apple Watches, used HomePods, and I've never had any issues. And I've saved a lot of money that way. Sam Kraft said, which Apple product would you recommend for a first-time user that does not want to spend a ton of money? What kind of product? Are you talking about a phone, a tablet, a watch, a computer? It depends what product you want. If you're talking about a computer, which I think you are, if you want to buy new, I would look at the MacBook Air. I mean, if you're just a normal user, if all you do is internet and stuff and email, I would look into just getting an iPad. Maybe all you need is an iPad. You can save some money and you might enjoy using it more. There's a lot of different variables to consider. FK97 said, what are your thoughts on the iPod Touch 4th generation? Yeah, I think right now the iPod Touch sort of serves as an entry-level iOS device. So it's only like $200. It's a perfect gift for like kids for Christmas or something. And it gets them into the ecosystem so that when those kids get older and then they're at the age to have a smartphone, they will most likely get an iPhone. I think Apple's sort of using it that way. I think they're also using it as like a point of service device for restaurants or something. Um, so I think it has a place in the market right now. Someone asked where can they get iPads for the least, or not iPads, where can they get AirPods for the cheapest amount of money? Look on eBay. I recommend eBay for that. Firas Abueda, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, what do you think of YouTube Premium? Do you think it's overpriced? No, I have YouTube Premium right now. I mean, it depends on how much value you get from it. If you don't watch YouTube that much, then maybe it's not worth it. Maybe you can just watch the ads. But for me, I love YouTube Premium. It's worth every penny because I watch YouTube. I mean, that's the main thing I do. I don't watch TV. I watch movies, but mainly when I'm relaxing or when I'm eating a meal, I put on YouTube. And I really hated having to sit through ads or having to tap skip ad or having the video be interrupted by ads. And I also hated that I couldn't have YouTube videos running while my phone was asleep because I like listening to podcasts on YouTube, and I don't want my phone's display to have to be on the entire time, wasting the battery when I could just turn off the display and have the video running in the background, which is only a YouTube Premium feature. So for me, it's worth the money. The Best, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, are you ever going to do a live reaction? A live reaction to what? To an Apple event? I guess I mean, that's something I could do. I don't know if that's something I would do. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could do something like that. James Sheridan, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, which Apple Watch face do you use? I use, let me see what it's called. I think it's called Infograph Modular. It's this one. Infograph Modular. It's not fashionable, but it gives me a lot of information at once, which I really like. Mr. Popo said, does YouTube Premium let you play in the background? Yes, you can play videos in the background just like a song on Apple Music. Casey Seibold, thank you for that $7 Canadian super chat. They said, did you found the original earplugs online yet for your next video talking about the history of Apple headphones? I remember you asked us for help. Yeah, no. I don't know if I'm going to make that video now. I don't think I can make it because I can't find a high quality photo of the original iPod earbuds. Cannot find it. I don't think it exists, which shocks me, honestly, because I'm always able to find photos I need. But yeah, if I can't find that photo, then I can't make that video. I mean, I just can't. So, but thank you for your concern. Technology Info said, "What is your favorite Apple store?" That's a pretty good question. I've never really thought about it. I really, really loved the New York City Fifth Avenue store when I went there for the reopening. I thought it was just a beautiful, beautiful store. Um, they did a really good job with that. But there are also some interesting store designs in other countries. Like Shanghai has a pretty cool one. I think Milan has a pretty cool one. Um, Dubai has a pretty cool one. And actually, there was just a new Apple store that was built, I think, a month or two ago in Tokyo. It's the biggest one in Japan. And I haven't been there yet. I know, I think I told you guys last week about this, and I said I was going to go there that day, and I didn't. I have to go there. It's been raining a lot in Tokyo, so I haven't been going out much. But yeah, that one also looks pretty cool because they have some like bamboo in the store, which looks really awesome. So I'm looking forward to going there. But yeah, there are some pretty cool store designs. Seon YT said, "What's your favorite iPhone?" I mean, it's kind of hard because my favorite iPhone is just like the newest one that I have. You know what I mean? I think probably the iPhone 10 I had the most when I used the iPhone 10, it was like a completely new experience, and it sort of like it felt like a completely new device. And I had never had that feeling since I held and used the original iPhone. So the iPhone 10 was really a huge upgrade, the biggest upgrade in the iPhone line so far. Brian asked, "Do you think Apple will make a cloud gaming service like Stadia?" I think Apple already has a cloud gaming service called Apple Arcade. I don't think Apple's going to make their own console. I think they're going to use their existing platforms um, as gaming platforms, and they're going to keep it all integrated. Sean Saunders said, "Do you think Apple will make a cheap mini HomePod like Amazon's Echo Dot?" They might. I think they might make a smaller, cheaper version of the HomePod because at $300 it just doesn't compete very well with other smart speakers. But Apple still has to have some sort of defining feature that differentiates it from the Echo Dot and the Google Home Mini, because if not, I don't think it's going to sell very well, to be honest. So I'm interested to see what they do there. Robin said, "Why does iPhone 10 run out of power faster when charging with Qi charger than the 5-watt charger?" I don't think that should be happening. I mean, I charge my iPhone 11 Pro Max with a Qi wireless charger, and it doesn't run out faster than when I charge it with a cable. Um, it sounds like something's wrong with your phone, and I'm not sure what it is, to be honest. IGC Tech said, is YouTube going to terminate your channel due to COPPA and the new terms and conditions? I certainly hope not. I don't think my channel is at risk because I don't make kids content. So I don't think my channel will be affected. Yeah. But I am worried. I mean, I'm always worried because, you know, it's always just, it's up to YouTube. They can delete whatever video they want. They can delete whatever channel they want. It's their platform. So it is kind of scary. Nico said, which Mac do you think is going to be the first for the Intel to ARM switch? I don't know how soon Apple's going to do that. I think the rumors said something like 2022, maybe 2021. I don't know if it would be that soon, honestly. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm kind of excited for it. I think it's the right decision. I just don't know when we're going to see it, and I don't know which computer will get the treatment, will make the transition first. It'll probably be something like the MacBook Air, something like really consumer level, as like a test before they transition the rest of their computers. So I'm getting a lot of questions about if people should upgrade to like a new phone or upgrade to a new Apple Watch. And I'm just going to make a general statement about that because I think it applies to every buying situation. When you're thinking of making a purchase or upgrading and you're trying to decide which model you should get, I think it kind of all comes down to what can you afford? Can you afford to buy new? That's the first question. If you can you afford to buy the most expensive model or the most recent model? If not, can you afford the newest model used on eBay or on Swappa? And if not, then can you buy, you know, a one generation older? And then can you buy it one generation older used? Like, what can you afford? And I always recommend just buying the best that you can afford. And if you want to wait until next year, if you're patient to see what comes out, if there's a new version of the product, that's always a good idea if you're patient enough. But if you need something now, that's always my recommendation. Dice Cuber said you should unbox the iDog. I think they're referring to the Aibo, Sony's robotic dog that I mentioned I might be buying. If I do buy it, I'll most likely make a review video for it because there are not that many of them on YouTube right now because not that many people own one. So I would give it a few months, actually. I would wait a few months after I bought it and then do like a unboxing and review, because the way the product works is that over time it's supposed to grow and adapt and sort of change its personality depending on how you treat it and how often you play with it and interact with it and train it. So I would like to do a video like that. I'm not sure how popular it would be, but I would enjoy it. The best. Thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, "Do you watch someone called Sam Time?" No, I've never heard of them. Mr. Popo said, "I'm here to find out about the SE2. Is it true it's coming in March, or does only Apple know?" Only Apple knows. I mean, Apple doesn't confirm rumors. We'll only know for sure when it's actually introduced. It could be in March. I think it's most likely going to be in March. Andre said, "Best truly wireless earbuds that aren't AirPods." I don't have any experience with any other wireless earbuds other than AirPods. I have had experience with like knockoff AirPods, which are getting better, and I actually just made a review of a new pair that I just found. But in terms of like AirPod competitors, I've never had much experience with any other pair. George Priv said, "What are we supposed to expect from the December event?" There is no December event. There's just like a ceremony. Apple is holding a ceremony to celebrate the best apps and games of this year, sort of like a Grammy Awards for apps. So they're most likely, I mean, I would say there's definitely, but most likely not going to be any new announcements or any new products. It's just going to be like an award ceremony. But then again, Apple's never done anything like this. This is the first time. So no one really knows what to expect, to be honest. The best, thank you for that $5 super chat. You're being very generous today. Thank you. They said, "Why didn't Apple make a keynote for the 16-inch MacBook Pro and AirPods Pro?" I think it's just because they didn't have enough to announce. You know, I think they wanted those products to come out uh, at that time. They wanted them to come out this fall, and they didn't have enough products to make a whole event about it. So they just released them, you know, as press releases, which is fine. But I think that's why. Jonathan McIntosh said, "Have you heard of the soap bar iPhone scam?" I think I saw a video on YouTube. Someone replaced the iPhone inside of the box with like a bar of soap or something. I think that's what it was. But is it like a problem that's happening multiple times, or was it a one-time thing? I don't know. I don't know if it was like something on eBay, or I don't know. Brian, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, "What are your opinions on the Cybertruck?" Huge fan. Thank you. So I mentioned it already a couple times before, but I understand it's big news and not everyone has been here the whole stream. But obviously, it was very controversial because the design is so radical, but I loved it. The moment I saw it, I thought it was super cool. And it has a very utilitarian purpose. I mean, there's a functional purpose for the design. It's not just to look different. It's because it makes improvements on the traditional pickup truck design, which is great. So I'm a huge fan of the Cybertruck. I think it'll do really well. I think it'll sell well, considering it's cheaper than most other pickup trucks, and it's a Tesla, and it's electric. Korosh said, do you use an Apple monitor? No, I don't use an Apple monitor. I use the LG 4K ultrafine display. But that's back in the US. Here, I just use my MacBook Pro display. I don't have an external monitor here. Jason Ong said, have you tried the butterfly keyboard on the previous MacBooks and how do you find it? Yeah, I mean, the MacBook I have right now has a butterfly keyboard. And I've been having an issue actually. Because I use an external monitor back in the US, I never actually used the keyboard on my MacBook very much, except when I took it out somewhere, which was very rare. So I was using just the Magic Keyboard that Apple sells. But now that I've been using this MacBook keyboard full time in Japan, I am noticing issues. Issues that I've never had before. The biggest one being sometimes when I begin typing, the first couple characters won't register. Like if I Google Apple's new MacBook Pro, the A and the P won't come up. It'll just be PPLE. And then I have to go back and add in those first two characters. It happens quite a lot. It's become very annoying. And yeah, it's definitely a faulty keyboard. I mean, definitely does not work well. And it's why I wanted to upgrade to the 16-inch MacBook Pro when the rumors were, when there were rumors about it. But when it actually came out, it wasn't as big of an upgrade as I wanted it to be. And I was kind of disappointed. And because I had planned on, putting a 2 terabyte SSD in there and like maxing out the RAM and putting the best graphics card in there I could, which was going to make it, like over $3,000. And I don't want to spend that much on a computer that feels like the same one that I already have. So I'm just going to deal with the keyboard while I'm in Japan. When I'm back in the US, I'll use my external keyboard and then wait for a bigger upgrade. But yeah, I'm very disappointed with this keyboard. I'm disappointed that Apple put it out. I'm disappointed that they waited so long to fix it. It really is disappointing. Firas Abueda, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, would you prefer to live in Japan? I mean, I think I would like to live in Tokyo, at least for maybe a couple years. But I still don't know if I would want to live here like for the rest of my life. I kind of like going back and forth because if I can stay in the US most of the time, I still have a relationship with my brother and sisters and mom and dad and aunt and uncle and cousins. But I can come to Japan, for a few months every so often and still get that experience. So I think it's kind of like a Hannah Montana best of both worlds situation, which I think is the best situation for me right now. Someone knows where I am. Someone Kasho said Akasaka. That is where I am right now. That's a certain neighborhood of Tokyo. So they must be familiar with this city. Peter Schworn, thank you for that $2 super chat. Your message was retracted. I don't know if that's something you did or the mods did, but thank you for that $2 super chat, Peter. I appreciate it. Nico Oakson said, OMG, I live in Tokyo as well. Is it possible to meet? I'm such a big fan of you. Yeah, join our Discord. Send me a DM. Maybe we can try to organize a meetup. I don't know how many fans I have in Tokyo, but maybe there's a few and we can do a meetup somewhere. That would be fun. Nikias Molina. Bro, keep killing it. I appreciate that. Korsh said, why didn't you bring your keyboard? Because I just have my MacBook. I don't have an external monitor. It's kind of weird to use an external keyboard on a notebook when you have the notebook's keyboard right there. So I just use the keyboard in the notebook. I didn't expect the keyboard to mess up, honestly. All right, so I have been on for over an hour. Thank you for joining our live stream. Remember, if you didn't get your question answered, join our Discord server if you're at least 13 years old. And then you can post your question on there. I'll answer it. I'm gonna go to the Discord server right after this stream ends. I'm gonna answer all the questions there, and then I'll post a video answering those questions on Discord. So thank you for joining us. I will see you guys next week, same time, 10 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you for joining me this week. Bye-bye.